matters of development. In this way, social and political stability that we all aspire to, since it's a warranty of development, it is a true challenge for which are necessary but are never enough. Economically, the proposals made by international organizations such as the UN, WHO, as well as other regional organizations are true pillars of development. We support these integrations as we are convinced that materializing these actions will be very efficient with the new instruments and technological solutions. Under the effects of globalization, the destiny of economies is based on great markets where technologies play a key role, which means it's important to have economic integration. In this way, the African Union created a cataclysmic structure on the formation of the continent in a unique market, Smart Africa. In this way, we support an economy based on knowledge, which provides more competitiveness in the world. The new technologies of information and communication, ICTs, create uniformity in regulations which allow our people to work together, as Olga Dame, the President of the Administrative Council of Smart Africa, has declared. The Intercontinental African Area, inaugurated in 2018, of which I was charged of the mission of accelerating its implementation, which can only be done through the digitalization of our economies. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable participants, in the international arena, I would like to congratulate the Beijing initiative on digitalization to independize world economy. This equilibrated and coordinated and made comprehensive based on a favorable cooperation for all of us. In regards to innovation, we would like to congratulate India's initiative for the creation within the G20 meeting in New Delhi for different fuels. This is a great challenge in energy transition with great environmental challenges in the world. I would also like to take this opportunity to once again thank the countries and organizations who contributed to the integration of the African Union at the center of the G20 and during the last summit earlier this month. This will promote Africa's seat in the Security Council. We can also say that they can count on the support of the group of the G77 and China. Mr. President, once again, I say that using new technologies and advanced technologies such as the use of artificial intelligence and cyberspace will surely have consequences in matters of security and governments for our nations. However, the true challenge of development is still the great risk of broadening the gap separating countries from others in this specific area. The lack of access to infrastructures and the right technological advances in some countries due to the lack of resources also creates a wider gap in the world, as the Secretary General of the United Nations reminded us in the last summit of the G20 in New Delhi. In most of the populations and most of the member states of the G77 plus China are at risk of being excluded from the development based on science, technology, and innovation. And this meeting should remind us the need for international solidarity that is efficient. We then invite this summit to define specific lines of work that would allow for those who don't have access to this new revolution to actually have it. It is important also to have that among the main challenges of the development we aspire to in the current state of the world. There's regrettably the adverse effects of this same revolution manifested through cybernetic crimes, which will be even more acute in the future. This evolution therefore requires regulations, control, and protection in the entire world, both operatively and legally. Those countries that have made progress in this area are already thinking on a regulatory framework that will constitute world regulations. Once again, Mr. President, this summit in Havana is an opportunity for our developing countries to set the basis for a common reflection in order to protect our populations from the consequences of related to security, governance, and everything related to science and technology that have not yet controlled. The African Union has committed to the scientific community because we are perfectly aware of its importance. As mentioned by the Central African Center for Studies and Science, can contribute to the technological progress of the African continent, and it is essential to increase wealth in African states. For this, our continental organization made up its own strategy for the next decade for Africa. This scientific strategy for 10 years is in keeping with the agenda of our organization, and we are determined to turn this into an efficient tool that will focus our efforts and investments in applied research. Sciences are a great advantage in the world, and obtaining the results needed in the countries of the South in general will be a difficult task. We have not yet reduced to the smallest time and limiting our perception of science, technology, and innovation as elements in help of development is not enough. To conclude, the understanding of the world's responsibility encourages the African Union to put science at the center of the joint work of our region. I would like to express our sincere gratefulness for your warm welcome and hospitality. Thank you very much.